Welcome to the Future Customer Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Peace, CEO and founder of Sway Outcomes. We are a global customer engagement consultancy, helping brands to build repeatable customer revenue streams through innovative customer strategy. In this podcast series, we look at the future of customer engagement. We understand that tomorrow's customer is hard to reach. Retaining and growing customer relationships has never been so difficult. I'll discuss the latest challenges and solutions with industry champions, and we focus on what's next for the future of customer engagement. If you'd like to be on the show, then find me on LinkedIn. I'm always looking for new and interesting discussions with visionaries of customer success. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another sorry, that wasn't right. No, so excuse me.
Go on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Future Customer Podcast. I'm very pleased to say I am joined today by David Blake, who is an international marketing and loyalty CRM leader. David, it's fantastic to have you on. Please, could you give us in 60 to 90 seconds a brief overview of who you are and why we should listen to you today?
Yeah, sure. Hi everybody. Thanks for having me on board. I'm a Boltonian, so I still firmly believe that Lancashire is the centre of the universe. Just to get that up front straight away.
We'll try not to hold that against you.
But yeah, I've worked cross-functionally in a lot of different verticals. I started my career in a call centre in British Gas, to be honest, and I listened to a lot of calls, and it's really helped me throughout my career. I originally studied law, but just didn't want to do it.
Oh, wow, really? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. I loved studying law, but I didn't want to be a lawyer.
Okay.
I just went on a temping job. But since then, I probably cut my teeth at British Gas. I worked in insurance, education, broadband at Talk, where we launched Talk TV, mobile tech, electricals at Currys, and then fast fashion. So I've worked at some great brands, Topshop, New Look, Boohoo as well. And then latterly, luxe fashion and beauty in the Middle East. So that's been a fantastic experience for me. Some department stores like Bloomingdale's and Harvey Nicks, lifestyle brands like Gap and Gymshark I've launched as well over there. And then lately, I've done some work with a great marketing agency called Solix in the UAE. And I think just one of the things I wanted to say is one of the threads through my career, one of the things I love is democratizing goods and services to hardworking UK families or international. I love that element of it, so they can benefit from the latest tech, the products, the handsets and services. And I think that's that sense of mission for me, I think, in the work I do.
Wow, that's great. That actually is great. What an interesting background you have. I mean, you've worked internationally and across a vast amount of verticals. I don't come across somebody who's worked across quite so many: utility, telco, electronics, fashion, luxury. Like, you don't get so many people that have worked across so many different types of business sectors.
To be honest, I've been really lucky, and I've learned a lot. Let's say I've learned a lot, but I've been really lucky in my career so far, and I'm sure that will continue.
Yeah, amazing. Well, look, I know that you want to talk about kind of the future fundamentals and how we create a real seamless experience for consumers and how that is so important in the future of customer engagement. But before we do that, let me ask you for an example of a really interesting or strong customer engagement that you've experienced.
Yeah, sure. So I think when I was at New Look, we had a real conundrum. So we wanted people to get on the app. It was pre and post pandemic.
And just for people in the audience who maybe aren't UK based, New Look is the biggest fast fashion brand in the UK.
It's the biggest omni-channel fast fashion brand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it has
Great.
380 stores, I think, as well. And we wanted to get people on the app, sorry. So I think many of your listeners and businesses will know that obviously when you get somebody on an app purchasing and using regularly, the frequency was like 2 times more, the tenure was longer, you could communicate them better through different channels. So we pushed a lot through our comms and our email. And so we engaged with a company called Branch, and we looked at how we create individual QR codes per New Look branch all over the country. And we put it in the changing rooms, we put it on the racks, the tills, and we really engaged with the colleagues to really, really push the app. I think a lot of the time, colleagues are the best asset. When you speak to somebody face to face, when you have a branch or a store, you know, people come in regularly, they have relationships with them. If somebody's credibly telling you about something, I think it gives credibility to the message because it's face to face. And I think that's happening in that case as well.
That's the soundbite right there, actually. Colleagues are your best asset. I love that. Thanks for that. But sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right. That's been my experience as well. If they don't live and breathe it, then it's not going to work. And we had great success with that. It was a new thing that Branch had done, individual QR codes. We had something like 20% uptake on our app adoption. And that's actually been incorporated to a case study and a use case that Branch use, which they won an award for, I think. Because they did it with Landmark in the UAE, and they had 15,000 QR codes to track and install revenue. So we did it first, and then they rolled it out, and it's a great tool for app engagement and app adoption.
Yeah, amazing. Right, great. So fantastic. So let's get into your specialist subject. We're in the mastermind chair now. So please, you've got 10, 15 minutes. Tell us what your thoughts are on how we are going to develop these kind of fundamentals of a program to create these real kind of seamless engagements.
Yeah, I think you framed that really well, because for me, and my experience, I've worked in loyalty schemes and customer engagement programs. I've worked in some that have worked, and I've worked in some that haven't worked. And I think I've got a lot of experience in both of those, to be honest. And I think one of the things I wanted to talk about is the importance of being grounded in customer insight. As an example, I think when I was at Currys, and Currys is probably the UK's biggest electrical retailer. And we looked at a membership scheme that I worked on, because we would have an app. They get the warranty information for the white goods. They could put it in there, the receipts as well. They could get some discounts on products. But what we found that these discounts were available anyway. So they were available through affiliates, they were available through CRM programs, through paid activity. So the only incremental benefit in the value proposition was something like a £5 or a £10 off voucher. Now that's great if you're a grocer. It's fantastic. Actually, if you're selling white goods, technology, fridges, whatever, then your purchase cycle is going to be a year to 18 months. So a tenner off something is going to move the dial for them. It was one of those situations where the membership and loyalty scheme internally kind of created a life of its own. And I don't think we'd ever really, really look back and go, is this going to fly for the customer? And what we did was, obviously, we had a new CEO, and this was presented to him. And, you know, he quite rightly said, I don't think this is going to work from a customer perspective. And it's because it wasn't necessarily grounded in customer insight when I look back at that. We didn't actually ask our customers, what do you really want? And to be fair, they've done a really good job now. They've got a perks scheme. It's light touch. The CRM program is really strong. And I think they've got a lot of learnings from that as well. But I think customer research is really, really key. And it's important to be really clear-eyed and look at things from a value proposition and say, is this going to work for me? Would I buy it? Would my friends buy it? Can I pass it on to a family? Would I be excited to do a referral program? Conversely, I think I'll just talk briefly, but when I worked at TalkTalk, we launched TalkTalk TV. We did a load of market research. We did focus groups. We brought people in from competitors. We had a customer panel. I did message hierarchy testing, creative testing. And that worked really, really well for us because we were a value proposition. It was a £5 set-top box. And that way we created over 1 million members from that. And that was really because we got the messaging right and we spoke to our customers. I think at New Look as well, I had a similar example. So at New Look, we wanted to launch a loyalty scheme, which I know you know about. And we asked our customers what were the key benefits. And we had a menu. Yeah. We had a menu. We had discounts, exclusive access. But obviously, when you ask customers like that, the first thing that they're going to have, point to is they want discounts.
Yeah.
Fair enough, because it's all what they know. But when you're a value player like that and you're offering 10, 20, 30% off week by week, you can't offer anything richer than that. You can't offer anything over and above. So we really had to tweak that to look at what are the benefits we could offer to the customer that resonated value but weren't a percentage off. So we looked at exclusive prices, discounts for members, early access to promotional events as well. We even looked at some money off tree planting as well, because it has really strong recycling as well.
So you gave people a variety of things that they could access that were valuable specifically to them.
Yeah, and they would still have access to the discounts as well.
Yeah.
I think Altair as well. Altair is a great business, and it kind of owns the relationships with a lot of the big brands around the world. So you've got brands like Bottega, Gucci, Armani, and then you've got lifestyle brands like Gap, Gymshark, and a load of beauty brands. And what we found when I worked on the proposition development for the loyalty scheme there is that we had a lot of customers who weren't burning any points, and the move up the tier was so high that they would never get there. So one of the things we introduced was another tier, an intermediate tier at 10k points, so we could drive that tier migration, I think, as well. When we launched a new app and personalized offers as well, because that's what the research told us.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well that sounds great, because so that was a coalition solution across luxury and everyday brands.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a mix of customers there. You've got some really, really high-end, high-net customers who are on the top tier, and then you've got some kind of bottom-tier classic customers who use it maybe for the lifestyle brands, for the Gap, but actually there's no incentive for them to move up as well. So when we launched the new app, we had bespoke offers per tier, so it was relevant to them and timely, and we had a personalized page on that as well. And we really worked at how we could drive that kind of migration up a little bit. It's just launched recently, so it'll be really interesting to see how it goes. But there was a lot of work that went into that, and also something that I'm going to talk about, which is a seamless experience. I'm not paranoid about this, but it drives me nuts. It's just like the customer expectation of mine is here, but I think the ability to deliver that is still not there.
Yeah, do you know what? This really frustrates me. I'm looking for a new office space at the minute, and went on to several different landlord companies to look at different offices, and it asks you how many desks do you need and what location and what's your budget and blah blah. And you fill out the form, and then you get an email from somebody who says, "So what do you need?" And you're like, "Read the form." Literally read the form that I've just filled out. So you have to tell them the information all over again. And this is I think what you're driving at is this ability to think about what information do we need from the customer, how is the best way to gather that information, and then just not executing the final punch. And and maybe we see it more because we're in the industry, but that is just the most frustrating thing.
It is the most frustrating thing. I think in New Look we had the same problem. So we asked customers on the welcome program what they were interested in, what category. So shoes, bags, coats, and then we never did anything with that information. I'm like, well, where is it? And use that. It's a hand raise, isn't it? It's like
So that for you is the fundamentals of success for the future is getting that end-to-end customer engagement. So you talk there about different offer types and different tier breaks and different content pieces, and actually getting that real journey down to a very effective and customer centric view.
I think there's honestly some challenges around that, and it's to do with MarTech. So I think the way to deliver that is to have that kind of single customer view CDP element to it. But actually, that needs to be able to plug into the POS system by native integration. It needs to work with the online business. There's lots of different elements to that. You can't throw away all the MarTech you've got and then just bring in something new. And interestingly enough, when I talk to people that have just brought in new, like Bloomreach, MarTech, what have you, they say, oh, it's great, I've got this Rolls-Royce solution. but the team is still doing the same that they've done before, because the element of when you bring in that is you need to train up the team and develop the team so they can use it. I think there's something to go on. Sorry.
Well, because it is just a major investment, right? Like as you quite rightly say, you can't just buy a new Martech, plug it in. It's got to be well integrated. The people have got to be trained. It's got to be well installed, if you like, well implemented. It's a big investment, right? But you'd say that's where we're going. That's the thing that brands have to do.
100%. You need to have a seamless customer journey, and the way to get that is that you have all your connecting points and the channels integrated so that you in real time, so that you can respond to the customer.
Yeah. And what's the end advantage there? I mean, does that really drive a sale? Do people not buy because they don't have a perfect engagement? Or is it about something else? I won't prompt you with an answer, but
I think there's a couple of things. I think being timely will definitely increase the opportunity to sell. I think there's no, I don't think there's no debate about that. So I think being time, and I think there's savings internally for a business as well. So if you're spending money on paid activity with one message, and you've got customers abandoned or bought something or been in store and they're not syncing up, then you're wasting spend on paid. And I think that's a big issue as well. But I think also just there's an expectation from a hygiene factor that whatever I look at in my app, it reflects what's happened previously, and it will prompt me for more relevant stuff. I love the Marks and Spencer Sparks app, but it still sends me women's stuff sometimes. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy women's stuff. And I think the CDP element of it will allow the personalization engine to be really relevant and timely in real time. And benefit of it. I think Thrift do something that you can give discounts at the POS. So as soon as you bought, you can give a discount at the POS, and I think that's really, really great. We did a lot of work on that for Amber in the Middle East. I've got some interesting stats though. Forrester's latest wave on predictions, they say that 78% of marketing executives can see that their marketing and loyalty technologies are siloed. 78%.
Yeah. 3/4 of us.
If you're saying
it's just not connected, right?
Yeah, it's mad. If you're saying that seamlessness is so important, so it's so shocking. And 8 in 10 utilize separate data assets for loyalty and for marketech. So there must be some level of duplication there as well, I think. Really, really interesting. So I think seamless customer experience is really important to me.
Yeah. And really, I suppose what we're saying there is that seamless customer experience comes from a seamless data experience within the business. Because you can't get there without having that lined up.
I don't like the phrase single customer view, but it explains a conundrum in the sense that you need to have a real-time single customer view of customer behavior, so that if they change and they go in a store, latest thinking, you can prompt the message there. And I think that's the conundrum, is the expectation is here, but the ability to deliver that is not necessarily. Like I go in Selfridges and I get an email with a QR code, with a barcode that I have to take in and go to the till. And that isn't me. That just seems a bit clunky to me for a brand like Selfridges.
I mean, it's one step up from 15 years ago when we all used to print out a 2-for-1 voucher for Pizza Express and take the printout into the restaurant, right? It's one step up from that, but it's not really where we all want to be.
It's slightly up from cutting out a coupon in the back of the mirror. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at least we are moving forward. So who would you say is doing this really well? Who's sort of nailed this down in your view, and you just think, wow, this customer journey is just superb?
I think there's a brand. They're not omnichannel. They don't have stores yet, but there's a brand called Represent, and they are a clothing brand that are based in Manchester, and they are flying. They're sold in a lot of department stores. They're sold in Selfridges. They're sold in Bloomingdale's and Harvey Nicks in the UAE, Kuwait. Their loyalty scheme is really nice. It just gives you little points if you follow them on social, follow them on Instagram. The journey is really clear at the beginning. There's a nudge. It gives you a vault that you have early access to for the latest drops, and it tells you beforehand It says the vault is opening at this time, and it's really, really clever what they've done. They're not omni-channel, but I'm sure they will be in the future. And then just in the UAE, I think Aura is quite good as well. So
Yeah.
Aura is a loyalty brand that works. I go in Muji, I go in H&M. Somebody tells me I'll point straight away. Can I use the point straight? Can I get a discount there and then? It's instant. I think that works really, really well, and it's seamless. And sometimes when I'm not logged into the app, it just gets my phone number, so it's no hassle for me whatsoever.
Yeah, right. So it's timely, it's precise, it's personalized. Yeah, I get it. And it's valuable.
Relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, relevant. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, well, and I guess that's the framework that we all need to start to work together towards rather.
it's not easy. Like I say, you
No.
just need a tech stack to be able to deliver it, and I think that's the conundrum and the problem, that we're not all aligned in terms of how we make that right for the customer.
Yeah, and I guess this is a story for another time because we're approaching the end of our time. But that really is a question for the CFO, isn't it? This is okay. This is what I want to do. I want to be timely, precise, relevant, personalized, etc. And then he'll say, okay, well, how much that cost then? And can
Yeah,
you demonstrate a growth from to being able to do that?
yeah. You just
Um,
bought Salesforce 3 years ago. Why are you not getting any value out of it? Or we have to buy
yeah.
something else. Yeah, I know what you mean. And you
Yeah,
get
exactly.
people.
But that maybe we'll come back and discuss that on another channel. But look, I think we are coming to the end of the time for that discussion. But I think that was absolutely fantastic. You got some key points there, and I think you're absolutely right. It does start with the data, right? You've got to get that bit. The data and the integrations need to come first, and then it is. I like the way you framed it as timely and precise. We often talk in our industry about personalizations and real time, but actually, timely and precise is a better way of talking about it. So I might proudly steal that if you don't mind. Now, before we finish up, we always ask one random question, and I'm going to give you a bit of a clue because you've got some experience in this region. But your question is, you got 5 seconds. What is the largest country with no rivers?
Um, Either Mongolia or Saudi Arabia.
So go on then, what are you going to pick?
Well, because you said I've got to explain the region, I'm thinking Saudi Arabia.
Yes, he's got it. Well done. I had no clue when I read this random question that I Googled. I was like, wow, I had absolutely no idea. I was way off. I was thinking smaller. I've got to admit, I was thinking much smaller. But look,
Good
David,
question,
it's
though. I'm going to use that again.
yeah, yeah. Well, keep watching all the podcasts as they go out because there'll be even more random questions evolving through the debate. But look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thanks very much for being with us today. And thanks also to everyone that's viewed and listened to the cast. We'll speak to you all again soon.
Thank you.